Hey everybody, Forrest here, and today we are going to look at how to shoot some star trail images. We are out here in the woods, and I've got my camera, and we've got a moon-filled night tonight, so Milky Way is a little bit out of the question. You kind of need a moonless night for Milky Way, so we're going to be focusing on star trails. Now, before we get into the camera settings, I want to talk a little bit about the gear you're going to need to shoot star trails. First off, you're going to need a camera and a lens, ideally a wide focal length, something like 24 millimeter, 35 millimeter, 16, somewhere like that. You're going to need a camera, obviously, memory cards, batteries. Star trails do eat through a lot of batteries, so if you do have an option to power your camera externally, that can be a good option as well. So I've got a USB power bank here, as well as a USB-C cable, and I'm going to plug into my camera to run it through the night. I will leave a link down in the description to a video I've made on external power for your camera. You're going to need a tripod head and a nice sturdy tripod, so you want to make sure everything's solid. Additionally, for most camera brands, you're also going to want to get yourself an intervalometer. This is a little tool that we can use to control our camera and run our camera for us and run a sequence so that we don't have to push the button again and again and again manually. Now, some cameras do have these built in, but most don't, so a good little Velo Shutter Boss intervalometer, link in the description, can be a great option as well. One final thing I'll mention is you may want to get the PhotoPills app on your phone. PhotoPills is a really cool app for photographers, and one of the things it can do is use its augmented reality to show us where in the sky the stars are going to trail. The North Celestial Pole in the northern hemisphere or the South Celestial Pole in the southern hemisphere are the central point of rotation where all stars appear to go around, and compositionally, that can be a cool element for your photos. So once we have our gear set, let's talk a little bit about the camera settings. I'm going to get everything kind of connected here, intervalometer hooked up, USB power bank connected, and then we'll dive in and get on the specifics on the camera. Now that we have the camera all set up, let's get a little bit into our camera settings for shooting star trails. The first thing we're going to want to do is make sure we're on manual exposure mode. Manual means we have full control over our aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. And once we're on manual mode, we're going to want to set our aperture to wide open. So on this lens, that's f1.4. Wide open means the smallest number aperture you have access to, which lets in the most amount of light. We'll talk a little bit more about ISO and shutter speed down the line, but we can start with our widest open aperture. Next, I'm going to set my lens to manual focus. Autofocus really doesn't work at night. Manual focus is frustrating, especially at nighttime. It's hard to get perfect focus, but autofocus won't have any idea where to even start. So we got to go with manual focus and manual exposure. Next, we're going to make sure we're on RAW mode. So cameras can shoot RAW and JPEG, and JPEG, while good for not really actually that much, we really want to make sure we're on RAW because RAW is going to give us the most image quality out of our camera. And then additionally, I'm going to put my shooting mode on continuous high. Now this will become clear why we're doing this in a little bit, but we want to put it on the continuous shooting mode, and if you have one, continuous high mode. For those of you who don't know, continuous means as long as we're holding down the shutter, the camera is going to continue taking pictures as long as that button is depressed. Next, we're going to put our white balance on daylight. Daylight white balance is going to give us the most neutral colored stars. Some stars are a little bluer, some stars are a little redder, but daylight white balance will make sure everything looks balanced and neutral. Finally, we want to turn off three very important settings. First is high ISO noise reduction. Second is long exposure noise reduction. Link in the description to learn more about what that does. And third, any sort of stabilization on our camera. Image stabilization, while great for handheld shots, when we're on a tripod, it's going to introduce shake into our images, and we're going to end up with super blurry pictures. So noise reduction of both types off and image stabilizer off as well. The next thing we're going to want to do is compose our image and be sure that we're not trying to do something that's impossible. So I want to point out a couple things about night selection and when you do this. First off, we want to make sure that we have as little moon as possible, although for star trails it doesn't really matter. Just note that the stars won't be as defined when there's a full moon as they will with no moon. Also note that if you are pointing in the direction of the moon, you're going to get big blown out circle of moonlight that really blows a lot of the stars away. So I recommend, if it is a moonlit night, pointing in a direction away from the moon. Now this can be where the PhotoPills app comes in. You can use PhotoPills to look around the sky and see where the moon will be, where the stars are going to trail, and you can get yourself a good idea of how to point your camera. You'll notice that it's still light out right now, and that's intentional. I like to arrive to my shooting location before sunset so that I can focus and I can point my camera in the right direction and get things composed before it's too dark. So in this instance, I would go ahead and get my camera loosened up. I'd use the PhotoPills app to figure out kind of where I wanted to point. And then I'm gonna actually use manual focus to focus on something really far away. In this case, I have some distant mountains out there that are probably over a mile away. And to my camera, that's gonna be the same distance away as the stars. So focusing on that distant mountain is gonna be the same as focusing on the stars. So ideally, you can get your focus and your composition and your general settings all set before it gets too dark. And that's super helpful. Do note though that if it has already gotten dark, you can also do this by lighting up trees with a flashlight to help you compose, using moonlight, and for focusing you can use a bright star and zoom in on it with your live view or your digital zoom to get good focus. But it's a lot easier to do it in the daylight. Finally, it's time to make our last preparations to actually shoot our star trail. Now, ideally you want to wait till it gets a little darker for this, but I'm going to go ahead and get these preset on my camera. Now we know that our aperture is going to be wide open at f1.4 or 2 or 2.8 or 4, however fast your lens is, but I also can get my ISO and my shutter speed set ahead of time. For ISO, I'm going to start with 800. Now, this doesn't mean that this is going to work perfectly for you. It's probably going to need a little bit of seasoning to taste. ISO is that one that you can adjust up and down to get a proper exposure. And what I would do to find out where your ISO should go is take a test exposure and see what your histogram looks like. More on that in just a second. I'm going to start with ISO 800, and then for my shutter speed, I'm actually going to put it at 30 seconds. Now, if you have a camera that goes longer than that, feel free to use 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes. That's actually a great use for the intervalometer. You can use a longer shutter speed than what your camera maybe has to offer you. If you do want to go longer than what your camera has, you can set your camera to bulb and use your intervalometer to dial in something longer. In my case, I'm just going to set mine to 30 seconds, spin my shutter speed dial here and set myself to 30 seconds. And again, that's at ISO 800. Now, what we want to do is once the sky gets dark, I want to take a test exposure at ISO 800 wide open at 30 seconds. And I want to see what it looks like. Once we take that test exposure, we want to look at the histogram. I'll go ahead and put one up on the screen now. This is what we're looking for. If our histogram is too far to the right, what we're going to want to do is reduce our ISO to darken the picture. And if your histogram is too far to the left from this example, we want to increase our ISO to bring more light into the scene. So we can adjust our ISO. We really want to leave our shutter speed and our aperture alone though, and let ISO be the variable. Once you've got your exposure dialed, what you want to do is take your intervalometer and you want to push in the button and lock it down. And that is going to continually fire your camera for as long as you leave it that way or until your battery runs out. And this is why we put our camera on the continuous mode earlier in this video. Continuous means as long as we hold down the shutter button, the camera will keep taking photos forever. And I recommend you leave your camera locked down and you leave it shooting for at least an hour. The longer you shoot for, the longer your star trails will be. And generally an hour gets you a nice long trail. So just to reiterate, we're going to want to go through all of the settings that we talked about in this video. You're going to want to make sure you're focused, composed, everything's set, and then ISO 800 is your starting point. Once you take a test exposure and the sky is dark, wait till it's dark enough to do this. You're going to adjust your ISO up or down until you get a proper exposure. Your histogram should look like this. Once you have that good, lock down your intervalometer and shoot for at least an hour. If you trip over your tripod, your hour restarts. If you bump your camera, your hour restarts. You want to let everything be alone for an hour. And I really recommend if you want a longer trail, go longer than that. That's totally awesome as well. Now here's my assignment for all of you watching. Go do this. Go shoot a star trail in the next couple weeks, because in an upcoming video, we're going to take all these star trail images and learn how to stack them together in software to build a final shot. So I hope you guys like this video. Go out and do it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Drop a like down below. I would really appreciate that. And finally, hit subscribe to stay up to date with future videos. Thanks everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.